Yesterday I logged in like late in the afternoon off stream, and I thought about running a Mythic Plus or whatever, and then I was like, you know what, I'll just do some solo content. I got like 25 minutes, 30 minutes here, and I had so many options. I could run a delve, I could run a ritual site, there's like plenty of things for me to do as a solo player in WoW, and 12.0.7 is only going to make it even better, guys. Let's talk about it real quick. The best time to ever play this game solo for the Gregs of accounting and all the others out there, 12.0.7 as a pure solo player. Let's see what it's all about here. Get into the gearing, get into the maxing out. I mean, there's just so many ways to gear out now as a solo player. Here we go. This one is from Dalaran Gaming.
How's it going? My name is Dal, and over the last couple of expansions, we're really seeing a pretty big shift in how Blizzard treats the solo players. Which content such as delves introduced in War Within, which started just as an experiment, has over time turned into a pretty big overhaul when it comes to the overall endgame, and patch 12.07 right now for testing on the PTR is looking to take things even further with solo players in mind. Whether you're looking to put some finishing touches on your main character's mythic set, or looking to launch a fresh army of votes with a bunch of hero track items all in a single weekend, the patch 12.7 PTR is opening a lot of doors that were previously locked behind exclusively group content.
Right.
From endless ways to farm mythic crests on a brand new character, new avenues of gearing through heroic world tier, as well as weekly rewards that drop you even more items, the ceiling for how geared a solo player can get has definitely gotten a lot higher.
And now with the new bonus roll system, and then we have right now this week the void core that upgrades your items. So now a solo player could take his maxed out heroic item, if it's a weapon or a trinket, into myth track level gear item level. So I mean, right now, yeah, a solo player can really max out their item level almost just as good as anybody, unless you're talking about like a mythic raider or something.
So with that in mind, for today's video, I wanted to go over exactly how the patch 12.07 is looking to advance and further increase the ability for solo players to be able to gear out their characters even quicker before the Season 2 content of Midnight. With that being said, as always, if you guys do want to see more regular updates for Midnight as an expansion or for future builds like 12.07, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise,
coming in.
Let's dive right in. Solo players, once 12.07 arrives, will be happy to know that the world content is actually getting quite a nice leg up for you, just to be able to have a zone you can dive into and start gearing out all of your characters relatively quickly. With the new portal that is available in Void Storm once the patch releases, you get access to two zones. One is Val, the other is Nightowl, which essentially is like a smaller open world / instance that actually has a difficulty setting behind it, which means you can do it on normal.
Yeah, or that might be a good way to describe it. These new zones, or these remastered Legion zones, they're like instance to open world content. It's like an oxymoron to even say it, but that's what they are.
Heroic difficulty, and most solo players will want to try to unlock the heroic difficulty as soon as possible, even though the enemies in the zones are going to be more challenging from the various different rares, new elites, the world boss in particular. But the rewards for this place are going to be much better in general. You'll have weekly activities such as the new world bosses of the zones, which will drop your heroic items for your warband. So not only can you use these items for your main character, but possibly even use it to gear out your alts instead. You also can get a bunch of veteran track pieces for any of your alts, so a fresh new character outfitted with veteran track items allows them to have an easier time jumping into delve content or any of the other solo content. And the place also will drop you quite a bit of field accolades, a currency added from patch 12.05 with the accolade vendor that continues to actually get used in 12.07, though this time around you could just farm accolades pretty easily just hanging out in
what's the point of accolades now? Is it just to get the heroic box? Like you can get the random piece of heroic loot with your field accolades? Because I understand a lot of us were using them to get those purple tier sets, but like, who doesn't have their purple tier set anymore? Everybody got them, I'm sure. So what is this, for a mount maybe or something? I don't know what the point is of the field accolades anymore. Like I said, maybe it's just that random heroic loot chest. And the transmog, yeah, but what if you got it all already? I mean, we've been gathering field accolades for a while. I feel like everyone's pretty much got them. If you ran some ritual sites, you got them for sure.
Zone, slaying rares, looting treasures, completing world quests, and a variety of other zone events, which seems to go at a fairly fast pace. And with it being open world content, with everybody else diving into these zones, once the patch releases, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to easily pair up with other players, and the open world content from rares to world bosses will likely be...
I take it back. I do think there are some 12.0.7 mounts too. I remember this one in particular, the Dragon Hawk thing. It's like a spore Dragon Hawk that he was just fighting right here. There's a mount that looks like that now. So there's going to be some other items added in this patch.
Easy with other players hanging out in the local area. But it'll be the first place that a solo player should dive into. Even though these zones will have additional challenges and enemies, with everybody flooding the zones, I imagine it should be a fairly great place for you to start with when it comes to trying to get your character some early gear, especially as you can endlessly farm heroic items with the field accolades obtainable from the zone in particular. Now, another piece of content that's soloable are actually going to be ritual sites that are getting an upgrade in 12.07. This is the closest thing you're going to have to a delve upgrade, and I mean, essentially ritual sites are kind of like a delve. They have a very similar delve type of system with a tier and the rewards and the objectives, though minus Valyria hanging out with you.
Now we're going to get tier 6 of these. So yeah, another level up on these. These things already give 269 heroic vault gear, so yeah, a big item level for us solo players for sure. And you could do these non-solo. I mean, I did them 5-mans on stream. They were freaking easy as shit with 5 people.
Tanking, healing for you, or doing damage for you. So you do have those healing orbs instead. And they're actually iterating on ritual sites in this update. Normally, there really isn't any content for solo players outside of delves that can award you mythic crests. Crests that are actually very high in value, whether you have mythic items that you can upgrade, or possibly using these to craft a bunch of 285 pieces with some of the best seasonal gear for the rest of Midnight. But ritual sites will be a new way for you to farm that currency. Normally you can get mythic crests, but a limited quality from delves, right? About like 4 delves or so, and that's like very little per week. But ritual sites gives you an opportunity to farm these endlessly as a solo player, which normally need group content like dungeons or raids in order to be able to get any of the mythic crest currency. But here you could just farm.
That's another thing. You get a lot of coffer key shards out of this shit too. I mean, really, like as a solo player, you between ritual sites and delves, I mean, you just can bounce between the two and like endlessly run them. Delves, there's a limit on how many crests you can get, but other than that, you could bounce between them. You could gear out so damn hard between these two things.
Farm it endlessly all by yourself.
Solo players
so this is an alternative way for you to be able to farm mythic crests endlessly. Now, the new ritual sites with tier 6 do require for you to run 6 challenges, and it's also recommended that you're around 270 item level quality. So this is going to be for characters that have like all the hero track items maxed out. Now, I think you would be able to do this at slightly under item level, just a little bit below, if you pick the challenges that are not the most difficult. And from testing the new tier 6 challenges, they're really not that bad compared to like tier 5. It's really just one step up in terms of difficulty. The best challenges that would run with this is probably like tendrils, manifestations, magical alarm bells, which are all pretty easy to avoid. Take the corpses, so as long as you have some movement to drag enemies away from like a dead body, you should be good to go. Reinforcements or patrols are both pretty easy to get around with, at least over in the Daggerspine port, but also tested these challenges together with the other ritual site, and those are not terrible either. You can, if you're really careful maneuvering, skip majority of the extra enemies present within the map, so you're not really making the content too challenging for yourself in the long term. And like before with ritual sites, if you're just focusing on the objectives instead of clearing the entire site and going for all the treasures, they are really quick, because again, majority of enemies can be avoided. You can just hit the objectives and focus on that specifically, so they really are not that terrible. And if you are not trying to go for like the
one thing about I was doing a ritual site yesterday. One thing about them certainly is you don't have to pull everything. There's no like fill out the bar thing in these. So as much as you can avoid enemies, you can avoid enemies. I was just running around with Pillar of Frost on the water everywhere, just dodging a bunch of guys, making sure I only kill like the minimal amount of shit I have to kill to get the thing done.
Max amount of field accolades, which you do get more of at tier 6, but if you just try to speed run these as much as possible, you could maybe do like a 10-minute run per ritual site. So you're looking to be able to farm quite a decent bit of mythic crests pretty regularly as a pure solo player. Again, if you're not trying to do all the objectives for field accolades, but here just to solely farm mythic crests, this isn't that bad in terms of content. It's very repeatable. repeatable all by your own. Which means that ritual sites in 1207 will be a new way for you to get even more field accolades, so even more guaranteed hero track items for you to fill out all of your characters, but also farmable mythic crests for you to eventually maybe craft some items in order to fill out the rest of your armor slots on your character before the season is over in preparation for season 2 content. Now, another piece of content that will be available as part of 1207 will be Turbulent timeways, which essentially boosts up the effectiveness of time walking weeks.
Is there a cap for ritual sites? No. Not from the, like, there's the weekly cap on crests and shit, but no, like, ritual sites, you can just grind them out infinitely and get crests and everything else. As long as, you know, you haven't hit, like, the, you know, total cap of shit. But no, it's not like Delves where there's a cap, like, I think it's 20 crests from Delves or something, myth track crests.
With additional rewards. Basically, as soon as patch 1207 releases, we'll shortly after get access to Turbulent timeways, where every single week is a time walking week, which means fast character leveling for any of your ults, but also
no cap on
crazy
mythic crests. You could farm them for mythic crests until you hit like the cap, the total cap.
Gear. And the quest for those time walking weeks also is going to have upgraded rewards. Normally running time walking dungeons doesn't get you the best gear, but the quest for running 5 of them every single week is worth it, normally granting you a normal piece of the current season's raid gear as an additional bonus reward. Though during Turbulent timeways, it's upgraded from champion track to heroic track, so you're getting hero track items from boxes every single week on every one of your ults, which means huge catch-ups and huge farmable hero track items for every one of your characters, including some of the best trinkets available from this raid this season in particular, which this raid's trinkets especially are incredibly powerful. Although some weeks you are actually going to be able to get 2 items instead of 1 in terms of your hero track items, specifically during the weeks of Burning Crusade, Wrath of Lich King, and
don't we got like the big Turbulent timeways event thing coming up again? I think it's in like late June or something, or mid-June. Yeah, that's going to be a nice one. It's they're including Dragonflight this time.
And Cataclysm, since those come with a time walking raid, which means the dungeon loot or raid loot from those places is actually going to be on champion track instead of the normal item level. So all of these items on a loot table can possibly drop as additional bonus loot for slaying those bosses as champion gear. But also there's a quest for defeating the final boss of the raid.
When is 12.0.7? June 16th. Yeah. It's going to be that did they officially announce it yet? I know that's the time that we all said it was going to be. But June 16th seems to be, that week. It's going to be the Tuesday. Yeah.
Storm Rage for Black Temple in particular,
or Wednesday,
where any random item on any of the boss loot table from that instance can also drop on hero track as an additional bonus quest reward. So in most cases, you could expect an additional hero track item on any of your characters from the current Midnight's raid roster, but other weeks you also will get an additional item from the time walking raids loot pool as well, also on hero track, which means even more upgrades for any one of your characters. But with that being said, as always, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching and hope you guys did enjoy this update. If you did enjoy this PTR video or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like, as I would very much appreciate it. Also, be sure to join our Discord community to keep up with all new updates regarding Midnight in general and join in on the discussions over in the Discord channel. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.
Hey, another great one from Dal. Yeah, this is, I mean, like I said, really, in terms of solo ability, it's never been better. It's never been better. Right now, I mean, you could grind out myth track shit. You can grind out myth track crests. I mean, when the hell was that able to be done, but it's solo? So yeah, if you're somebody with no friends who doesn't touch grass, live in your basement, it's the best time ever to be that guy right now. I mean, shit, we got a pandemic coming up, right? Maybe another planned pandemic. So you're gonna be able to sit at home, just solo content all day? Oh my god, glorious. Yeah, nice video overall though from Dalaran Gaming.